Which is the better? Hire someone to code your own strategy or buy a ready-made robot?
This is one of the most important questions I got. So, first of all, I want to talk about one interesting part of this whole question. So, I have a recommendation, and that is that if you want your strategy to be coded for first when you are a beginner, in my opinion, you should hire someone to code a strategy that you actually understand. So for first, when you start to trade with robots, don't try to automate a strategy that you don't understand at all, that is so crazy that you just don't comprehend it at all, because you won't learn from it. So if you automate a strategy that you understand, that you know the details of, but you automate it because you don't have the time to look at the charts all day long, and you have a specific strategy that maybe work for you manually, but you don't have the time to, to look at the charts at night, and don't care about your family, your work, don't eat. It's crazy. So automate a strategy like that you understand, and when you take a look at the charts, what the EA did, you understand why it took the trade there, why it exit a position here, there, and it is very important. And when you advance to higher levels of trading, then it is of course a good thing to be able to automate strategies that are so complex that you can't even understand it and can't do it as a human being, because we can use these tools as humans, like AI and machine learning and deep learning and all this stuff. It is very useful. So the other important thing related to this question is that when you have a strategy, you may think that you backtested your strategy, because many YouTubers tell you that you can backtest your strategy on TradingView for a couple of months, and then you will know exactly what you can expect from the strategy. You can do the 25 trade and you can know your statistics. But actually, in my recommendation, you have to backtest your strategy with everything data, with variable spread, with slippage, for at least 5 years. For 5 years, you can backtest the strategy manually. It would be crazy. And therefore, many traders don't backtest their strategy properly. And so when their strategy starts to fail, they don't understand why. How does it happen? And they freak out. And if they would have backtested their strategies, they would know that it is completely normal, because it is just another cycle. Or they would know that, yeah, this strategy actually doesn't work. It just worked for that 3 months that they backtested, but in like 1 or 2 years, it doesn't work. And for 5 years, it is like it blows the account. It is very important. And so the other thing is that you have a strategy, and I really recommend for you to automate this strategy, to hire someone to code the strategy, not because you will necessarily trade fully automated with an EA, but you can backtest it, and that is a huge advantage, and you will have advantage over other traders. The next important part is that you should, of course, research the developer that you will hire to do the job, and more importantly, you will have to research the EA that you are going to buy. And in the previous video that you can see here, I told you some very good like key points to look for when you are choosing a forex robot for the first time or the 20th time, because most traders can't buy a good robot because they're always washed away by the hype of a good a scalper that the seller states that it will make $1 million from $100 in like 2 days, and most people want to believe these things. They don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear sweet lies. It is the fall of many traders. So research the EA that you are going to buy. For this question, I have a last advice, and that is the option of rent. So of course you have a couple of options when it comes to robots, and the most popular one is to buy a full robot. But you also have a rent version. For example, on MQL5 for many EAs you have a good rent version for 1, 3, even 6 months or even 12 months for a very reasonable price, of course, because you will lose your ability to trade with the EA after your license expired. But it is a very good way to not buy the EA all at once and spend your money on it, but to try it out and to see how it is working. And actually I really like this system because it allows the users, the buyers, to try out the EA, and even if the EA is not dangerous or anything like that, they might not like how it is trading. They might want to try something different, and for a very little amount of money you can actually try out multiple EAs, and then you can choose which one you will buy as a full version. So it is a very good system in my opinion, and this is just an advice to consider.
Where can I find a reliable coder or robot seller?
Oh, that is a tough question, because most sellers are not very reliable. They won't give you support, anything like that, because they just want your money. It is not easy, but I can give you some advice for first on how to find a good coder to automate your strategy. There are many freelance platforms, and of course you can find people on Facebook and on social media, on YouTube, and you can find reliable coders. Coders are much more reliable than just EA sellers most of the time, because they at least understand coding aspects, and most sellers actually, they just sell the EA, and it was a realization for me as well. I didn't know that not every EA seller is a coder, because they just buy a robot and they resell it. It is crazy, but they don't understand anything about it. I think on Fiverr there are really good developers, and you can actually find a wide range in price, in languages that they speak, experience, delivery deadline, and everything, because there are many quality coders on Fiverr. So the number one platform is Fiverr that I recommend. Occasionally also there are other platforms. I personally like people per hour, and I am also on that platform. And if you go to my website that I put in the description, you can actually order robots from me on people per hour. Now I don't always have time to code custom orders, but you can give it a try, or first you can write me on Telegram and we can discuss your strategy and everything. But yeah, I am not on Fiverr anymore, but you can find good developers and entire companies that are dedicated to code. Actually pretty great EAs from your strategy. And I have a recommendation, because you know, as I said, there are great developers, but sometimes they will just give you some crappy EA, and you know, if you want to make sure that your EA will work as you want it to work, I have an advice, and that is ask for a demo version of the EA before you accept the delivery. And most of the time it is better for the developer, because you don't give him or her a bad rating, and it is better for you because you know if it works or not. And so ask for a demo file. Actually, the best developers are they give you a demo file without asking, and backtest it and play around with it for a couple of days, put it on live account as well, and if you are satisfied with it, accept the delivery, and you know it is good for both parties. And really, as for reliable platforms to buy an EA, it is really tough, because on every platform there are good EAs and bad EAs. So in this topic I don't have a clear recommendation which platform is the platform where you can buy only good EAs, because in most stores and big stores, you know, there are like scammers, and they are reliable actual coders and EA sellers. So for this question, I don't have a recommendation as for which store you can go to, but you have to follow the steps that I told you in the previous video, and all the advice, you know, because otherwise you will be scammed. If you like this video and you like this series and you want more interviews like this, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, because that way it is very possible in probability that we will make more videos like this.